Hey, what's going on, class? Once again, my name is Devin Moore, and I'm here to give you an informative speech on behalf of family orientation and the economic values here in America, involving culture. Now, at this point in time, I've had the chance to do some research on behalf of The Simpsons because I know The Simpsons is something that I grew up on watching, and there are a bunch of points as far as things that go on within The Simpsons that America's critics have tried to bring forward to point out, in which to say that let us call it, like, how could we call it? Let's just say they said it was negative for the consumers. In other words, I guess that's the best way to put it. But after doing some careful research, I had a chance to run across a great guy by the name of Matthew Henry, which is very spiritual, and he points out the economic value in The Simpsons on behalf of what we go through as Americans, today, as far as religion, race, culture, going to work every day, things like that. So, with that being said, I want to cover 4 points. I want to go over family orientation, what we can do to prevent economic failure through family orientation, what we can do to prevent economic failure, and the purpose was to let you know how The Simpsons relates to family orientation with the economic issues we face here in America every day. Now, again, the first author that I spoke of is Matthew Henry. He spoke big of The Simpsons satire, is how they entitled his book on behalf of how The Simpsons live their everyday lives through our economic failure, facing things like racial issues, economic issues, again, culture classes, and things going on in America that are big issues today, like education and population growth. So, with that being said, it showed and displayed how we can stick together as a family and overcome things like economic failure. Because again, it takes a family to become an economy. That's what America really is, to a sense, because family orientation is pretty much who you're oriented to within your family, because a lot of us do not belong to our initial mother or fathers. A lot of us were either adopted or, let's just say, taken up by an aunt or uncle, or let's just say you were probably raised by your grandparents. So with that being said, that's who we started out with. And once we were old enough to leave, I guess we can call the nest, we went out into America, which is our other family. And depending on what we do, that dictates our orientation within America. And with that being said, everybody comes together with their positions, which makes up our economy. And here lately, our economy has been failing to pour. Let's just call it family orientation. So, with that being said, again, we have great authors like Matthew Henry, Neil Ferguson, who pointed out the shock of the global of the 1970s perspective, how the breadwinner, which is the husband of the family, had to go out. He may had to go fight wars or work something like 12 to 14-hour shifts in warehouses, to where he wasn't able to be at home, or the oldest of the family may have had to go pick up a part-time job to where they weren't able to finish high school or to finish their college education. And we also found author's name, by the name of Aaron Edlin, which spoke on the economics voice, in Robert Rycroft, which is the economics of inequality, which spoke of the differences between American and how it's built on this economics. And The Simpsons also points out the difference, how Homer Simpson lives his life compared to Ned Flanders. And all this has something to do with the culture classes and what's going on in our economy today. So, with that being said, in my short presentation, informative speech, I hope I was able to get across to you guys to let you know that it is very important to stay oriented within your family, because your orientation of your family dictates how we will live in America today or in the future. So, with that being said, I do want to thank you for your time. My name is Devin Moore, and I did come to present you my informative speech on behalf of The Simpsons and economic growth and economic failure. Thank you for your time.